What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 88, and we're starting today's episode off on the back of the drubbing at home to Torino in embarrassing fashion. Our Serie A undefeated run was ended by our cross-city rivals in that last game at home. I did not expect that one bit, man. Seriously. You know, if an undefeated season is going to go, you expect it to come against one of the best teams in the league, and no disrespect to Torino, but right now, you would say it was more likely to go against an Inter Milan or perhaps a Roma, but our cross-city rivals, Torino, in our own backyard. That is perhaps the worst way our undefeated season could have gone. So following that, as you would have seen, look at the squad here. We're now a week and a half into the January transfer window and I decided to make a new signing on a free transfer. 3 of our CMs are currently down. McKennie, Ricky and Guimar Reyes, though of course Ricky is coming back to full fitness. But while CM is the area where, funnily enough, we do have the most amount of depth, I thought we could do another versatile player for the reserves. Because if one thing was taught to me last season, it is that you need depth if you're going to compete for major honours in multiple competitions. So yeah, Pessina arrives on a free transfer. I did a ton of scouting for Italian players on the free agents list at the start of the season. Obviously we signed a few of them. Jorginho and Bove both came in as freebies, but now another one in the face of Pessina. He'll be here for emergency squad depth. So following that, you would have seen the cup draw for the last 16 of the Coppa Italia. And it is the one team in the one location we didn't want. Because the only game this season we've lost domestically was at home to Torino in our very last game. The cup draw pits us at home to Torino in the last 16. Typical, isn't it? I literally would have preferred Roma away. Honestly, Torino at home, and after I was torn apart so easily in that last game, in that loss, I'm worried. I'm worried and I'm nervous heading into that game. So heading into the first game of today's episode, aiming to bounce back after what has been a pretty tough run of form for Juventus. Heading into this game away against Parma, desperately needing to return to winning ways here after a very shaky patch of form. Well, heading into the game, Buffon has now retired, for those curious. Yep, Buffon has now decided to finally hang up the gloves in his, what would it be, early 40s? Mid-40s? I don't even know at this point, man. The dude is just timeless. But yeah, Buffon has now officially retired. I would have loved to have brought him back. I really, really would have done. I would have loved to have brought him back for one more year here at Juventus. But he has now officially retired. So heading into the game, I knew there would be no reason to go sentimental on the Parma goalkeeper, but instead take out my frustration on the back of the thrashing at home to Torino. 23 minutes in, we were leading by 2. Vlahovic heading in the corner off the underside of the crossbar, and then Federico Chiesa doubling the lead. And in the first half, I've mentioned before, sometimes if you get absolutely spanked, you get really, really embarrassed. You go into the next game and you just kind of take out your anger on someone who doesn't really deserve it, and Parma were the unlucky team in this game that were the next to face me. I mention it quite often, like if I get absolutely spanked, and it happens once or twice a season, the very next game, I'm like, right, no words, just actions. Go on to the pitch and just absolutely destroy whoever is waiting for me. And in this game, unfortunately, it was Parma. All 3 of my trio had scored up top. Steven Bergwijn got my 3rd. Lovely work goal as well. And for our 4th goal, 51 minutes in, once again, really nice little build-up. Bergwijn goes through one-on-one and drills it in bottom corner. I love his celebration, by the way. I really do. For the player-specific celebrations, I think my 2 favourite in the game are probably Heung-min Son's and also Bergwijn's as well. It looks really, really cold, I'm not going to lie, but probably would be, more cool if it wasn't in a 4-0 drubbing and instead like a last-minute winner, but even so, he scored a brace in this game, 2-1, the final score, and back to winning ways, exactly what we needed the most. But heading into the following game, this was interesting. Now, you might have noticed this when we entered January, but we've got the Super Coppa here against AC Milan. You might be thinking, oh, yeah, okay, cool. But we shouldn't be playing it. Because Juventus last year didn't win the Serie A, and they didn't win the Coppa Italia. They finished runners-up in the Serie A, and I can't remember, I think in the Coppa Italia they were finalists. Now, if memory serves me correctly, and I might have got this wrong, but I'm pretty sure Roma won the Serie A last year. And actually, yeah, I know Milan won the Cup last year because Milan beat Juve in the final, I remember now, when I took over. So why are Juventus in the Supercoppa? Why are we playing the game, the annual game, which is between the winners of the Cup and the League last season? We shouldn't be playing this. It should be Roma versus Milan, but not for the first time in this save, let alone in all the years I've been doing FIFA. The game has glitched out, but kind of in my favour. But I didn't want it. I didn't ask for this. Now, if you remember back in Season 2, I think it was, with Nottingham Forest, we qualified for the Europa Conference League. And the game put me in the Europa League instead. Even though I was so desperate to play in the Europa Conference League for the first time ever, the game, you know, I don't know whether it's a bug or a glitch, I'm not sure what you call it, but it was a mess up, basically. It was a screw up, and it put us in the Europa League. Literally a couple of years ago, or it might have been last year, actually last year I think as well, I had the same thing. I should have qualified for the Europa Conference League in my career mode save, and in the end I qualified for the Europa League. So again, the game messed up and put me in a different competition. If you remember, a few years ago, if you were on my channel back then, in my FIFA 18 career mode with Huddersfield Town, back in Season 3 I think it was, we qualified for the Europa League with a 5th place finish, and the game put us in the Champions League. So we finished 5th, yet the game put us in the Champions League. So, not for the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last, a major screw up from EA gives us the game in the Super Cup. And I guess to immerse you guys, what I'll say is that Roma were barred from the competition because of breaching financial fair play rules. I don't know, but we got put in the Super Cup. To be honest here, it really doesn't matter. I always say this, it's a glorified friendly. No one really cares, you know, the Community Shield in England, the Super Cup or in Italy, whatever it may be. No one really cares, let's be totally honest here. I use this example all the time, and the best way of describing it for me is that imagine you're a professional football player, and you know, you've been, you know, perhaps not elite, but you've certainly won a few things in your lifetime. You've you know, let's say you spent your entire career playing in English football. You've won an FA Cup, you won a League Cup, and you know, that was it. You know, you had a decent career, don't get me wrong, and you got to celebrate 2 domestic cups, 1 FA Cup and 1 League Cup, and also, yeah, you won the Community Shield the following season. You know, when you look back on your career, are you gonna think, oh, that Community Shield win, I'll never forget that? No one really cares, man, seriously. It's literally just a glorified friendly. We shouldn't have been there, but, you know, put it this way, come the end of the season, I'm not going to think, oh, thank God the game glitched out and gave me a Super Cup to play. I don't care. Literally, I really don't care. Even so, won the game 3-0, and, yeah, fair enough. A glorified friendly mid-season. Thanks very much, game. I'll take it. Anyway, following game, far more important. Back home in Turin for the game against Inter Milan. Right now, really, really tight league table between the top 4 teams, as we know. So heading into this game, massive one here on the back of that bizarre Super Coppa game. And, of course, the big win against Udinese. Looking for back-to-back wins in the league for the first time in January. Well, heading into the game, we did take the lead, but Inter would battle back right before the break. And then 4 minutes after the restart, what a strike. Lautaro Martinez with a bullet. Top corner, no chance for Donnarumma, and from a leading position we were trailing. Inter leading by a goal, and we were in danger of losing back-to-back at home for the first time this season. 15 minutes to go, desperately trying to get ourselves a level and find a point. Great save by Onana, kept it 2-1 from the corner. I've got to be honest here, this guy is probably my best aerial player in FIFA 23. He wins the majority of the aerial duels, and at 6'3", with the aggression, with the jumping, with the strength, it's not too much of a surprise. But Dusan Vlahovic with another headed goal makes it 2-2. We are back on level terms in a really topsy-turvy game. And would there be one late twist? Well, with 7 minutes to go. Oh man, Donnarumma has cost me a couple of goals this season, but here, if he would have pulled this off, it would have been perhaps the greatest piece of goalkeeping I've seen in FIFA history, and I mean that. He made save after save after save in the span of a few seconds and clawed the ball off the line. David Seaman versus Paul Pesky-Solido, FA Cup final-esque save. But unfortunately, Closet turned in what was like the 5th rebound in that moment there. Inter win it to the death. Donnarumma just couldn't bail me out right to the death there after some brilliant saves. And in the end, we lose. Final score, Juve 2, Inter 3. Back-to-back losses for the old lady at home. Really poor run of form. 1 win in 5, I think it is, in the league. And now we've dropped to 3rd. Just 3 points separating the top 4. We're only a point off the league leaders, but now 16 games to go. Drop to 3rd and have a worse head-to-head record than Inter Milan. Tough run of form. But that will end this episode of Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please do drop a like. Most of you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.